Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl, and I am back. I know y'all like, did you fall off the face of the earth? Where did you go? But nevertheless, we'll jump into that another time. We're going to get straight into this King Von situation. I want to start off by saying, I send my condolences to his family, his friends, everybody who loved this man. And I also want to give a shout out to the other young man who lost his life as well. His name was Mark Blakely. I think he goes by the name of Slutty. And so, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and just jump right on in this thing because I've been struggling with this since November 6th, the day this young man died. I was going to leave well enough alone. I wasn't going to get on here and make no videos. But once I seen his nephew and he cried and the things that he said that touched my soul, and I'm like, nah, I prayed on it, and God was like, you need to go ahead and speak up and say something. So I couldn't sit back anymore. Hence, that's why we're here today. So I know most of you have seen the interview that Vaughn's manager Track did with DJ.Akademiks. I personally call it more of a testimony because I, for the life of me, cannot understand why a person would go on social media to the worst platform that you could possibly go on, might I add, but that's just my opinion, to give an interview slash testimony during an open investigation. But that's neither here nor there. A lot of times, I see these celebrities are letting social media dictate how they move and when they respond to things. And I just think that, that was not a good decision because one of the first things that this young man was saying in his testimony was that, all these people, you're not helping Bond's legacy. Well, to me, I don't see where you did any of that to help his legacy either by a lot of the things that you said, sir, but we're going to get into all of that. And I also want to let y'all know that this is probably going to be broken down into 3, 4, 5 parts because it's so much information, guys. I first want to start out by giving two shouts out because these are the only two people that I have seen on this internet right now that have been bold enough to even go against the grain. Everybody else is kind of like sheep, they just going with whatever the masses do. But I want to give a huge shout out to King Low and to Teflon Dewan Chosen because these are the only two gentlemen that I have found on the internet that have been bold enough to come up and speak about the inconsistencies that not only they've seen but that I've seen too. And that most of y'all might just be overlooking. But we about to get into this shit. Because I ain't sitting back no longer and just being quiet when the shit is right there in front of you. And I get, irritated and I feel disrespected when somebody's just sitting in front of my face and you playing on my intelligence. So we gonna jump straight into this testimony slash interview that Mr. Jameson Francois, aka Track, the owner of 100K Management, did on Academics page. So first things first, right? He stated that, they were at the album release party. They left there. They were all, he was under the impression that they were all going to go back to the Airbnb, but Vaughn made a split decision and decided to go to the Monaco Hookah Lounge. Him, a few other people, they weren't, I guess, he didn't have the proper people that he needed with him at that time. So, the manager Track states that he gets a call from Vaughn's DJ saying, we here by ourselves, whoop de whoop. So everybody, I guess, reroutes and everybody heads to the lounge. Now, my first problem is when this man was giving his testimony, he basically made it seem like they were so scattered out and far apart from one another. But when we see this footage, like y'all were like literally, you were parked so close to the incident and to the other, people that were involved in this situation. So that was the first thing that kind of threw me off. The second thing that threw me off is that this man goes on to state that, Vaughn was sitting outside for, 30 minutes. Everybody's just kind of waiting around. Yes, we did have security, blase blah. We had security, all this, right? So then he proceeds to say that, so he goes over to the passenger side of the car that Vaughn was in. That was the second thing that threw me off because I'm like, we see Vaughn getting out of the Sprinter. It wasn't a truck or a car as he stated. But we gonna get into all that. I'm gonna break all of that down. But that was just the, second inconsistency that I saw. So I'm like, okay, boom. He says he goes to the passenger side, like Vaughn, what's going on? We waiting, we need to go in. So he says, okay, Vaughn says, okay, let's go in after 30 minutes, whatever. He says security goes and they get ready to check the venue. This man states, and I'm gonna let y'all hear his own words. Anybody with common sense knows you cannot take a weapon inside of a venue. Blase blah. So I'm like, okay.
Went to the car he was in. I was like, yo, Vaughn. Went inside the passenger seat. I was like, yo, Vaughn, bro, what's going on? Like everybody here, wait, let's go. He was like, all right, let's go. So at that time, this is where the security come in at. At that time, we're telling security, hey, it's time to go in now. Vaughn's ready. You know what I'm saying? We've been here too long. Let's go inside the club. So they do their rounds. They go inside the club, they check the venue, go inside, check the outside, make sure there's no threat. Now, common sense, if you guys know, security, nobody cannot go inside a club with a weapon. No matter who you is, you cannot enter a building with a weapon, especially a venue. So being alert that we're going into the club, all security put their weapon inside their car.
And we just gonna get straight into the facts. I ain't gonna do no, he said, she said stuff. I'm gonna just point out the facts to y'all, right? Georgia gun laws. So Georgia passed a bill. It's called House Bill 60, and this bill was actually passed back in 2014. It's recent. This bill allows you to basically carry a firearm any and everywhere in the state of Georgia. The permit even allows you to carry a firearm in a church unless the church has a problem with it. So, what is the point of you having a security if they're not allowed to stay armed? So, to me, that was a bunch of bullshit. And I'm going to put the laws up here and show you guys. You are allowed to carry a gun even if you got a permit in another state. Georgia would recognize that permit as long as that state recognized Georgia. And it's damn near 30 states that do that. So even if you would have gotten a gun permit in Florida or North Carolina, where I'm at, you would still be able to use a firearm in Georgia. You can walk in there with that bitch on your hip. Now, unless the bar owner, and it also states, guys, and I'm going to show all of this to you, that you are allowed to carry a firearm where they serve alcohol, aka a bar or a nightclub, unless the owner prohibits that. And if the owner would have prohibited that, then he would have had to post a sign outside of the door letting patrons know before they even entered this bitch what it was. And that wasn't the case. Now I'm going to also go back because I've been, like I said, y'all know I be on it. I need the police report. I need statements. I want to, speak to the Monaco Lounge owner because it's a lot of things that I'm about to put together for y'all and make it make sense, because it's not just, oh, Vaughn acted irrational and he just ended up getting shot. No, 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 we gonna get into these things, but y'all stay tuned. This is just the beginning. I don't want to make these videos too long, but I'm about to show y'all some other stuff too. We about to get into it. Stay tuned. I got some more news for your ass.